Right, so yes, so I believe you guys can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Okay, all right. So just go to ads.google.com, then click on Start Now. So you have to be sure that you've signed in to your Google account, the one you want to use for the Google Ads. And of course, if you haven't created an account before, it's going to take you to the setup. But since we've created an account before, it's bringing us right here. So you have this left section where you have some of the tabs that can assist you to easily access some of the things that are needed or some of the ads you've done in the past. Then right here you would have a summary of the ads you've done in the past. So this impression you're seeing here, this first thing you're seeing here, what impression just means is the number of time people came across your ads. So let's say you're going on Google now, right? And I search for digital marketing agency in Lagos. As I scroll through, right, this is an impression, right? Because it is popping up on my screen, so that's an impression, right? So when I click on it, that would serve as a click. So there's a difference between an impression and a click. For impressions, usually and most times it is higher than a click. Why? Because you can easily just scroll through this page without clicking on this. So take for instance, it's possible that 1,000 people can just scroll through something like this, and out of that 1,000 people, you just have like maybe 50 or 100 or 200 that will click on this link, right? So the higher the impression, usually the higher the view. So if this one also goes down, this one also goes down. So if this one also goes up very, very well, you expect this one to also have an increase in the number of views. Then you have this average cost per view. So per view, as one person is viewing it, how much are you paying on average, right? So Google has a calculation for this, and the view rate, that is the percentage of the views you're getting on your ad, right? So it can be for a video, it can be for a click, because when you click on this drop down, you can actually change it from views to clicks. So when you click on clicks, this one shows you, can you see what I was saying? So you can see the impression for this was about 3K. How the clicks is, I don't even think it's up to 10% of this value, right? So usually you have lesser clicks than impression. So your goal is to ensure that this also increases. You don't just want to keep having a very high impression, because if you have a very high impression and your clicks are not also moving up, it means something is going on, and you have to check it and try to fix it. So this graph you're seeing here, of course, the blue here represents this color here, which is the impression, and the red here represents the click section, right? So, and this here represents the range of the days or the dates that it is showing. So it's showing from January 12th to February 2. You can always click on this drop down to change the duration. If you want to see all time, you just click on all time, and then you'll be able to see this. So let me just quickly change this account to this. Then I'm going to click on, I think this was the one we created yesterday, so I'll click on this new one. All right, so we don't have anything yet because we haven't done any ad. So I believe this recommendation is given us as a result of some of the ads some of you might have tried before, and is trying to tell us that, oh, some things are missing in the ad you've set up in the past, which are call outs and site links. So in a moment you're going to see how to measure that. If you want to go to this recommendation, you can always click on this place. So if there's anything that Google feels or recommend that you can actually fix on your ad, it is this section you're going to see it. And you can see this small red icon showing you that there is notification that you have to check. So let's just say how to just set up a search ad on Google. So I just click on new campaign. And it's going to take me to these sections. So for sales, if you have something you want to sell, right? So if you have a product you like to sell, and you also want it to also appear on your, sometimes when you use your mobile phone, you see some ads popping up on it, right? So when it comes to selling something, when you have a product or you have a physical store that you feel you can sell something to people, this is one of the options you can pick. For leads, we talked about leads generation, right, the other time. So for leads, if you want to get details from people, like their phone number, their address, their interest, their location, their email address, this is the best option to use. If you have a website, if you don't have a website, you can choose this one. So if you have a website and you want people to actually visit your website, this is a very good option to use. And when you have an item that you like to allow people to see and purchase from you, this is an option you should pick. So an example of this product and brand consideration and sales is if I go online now and I search for wrist watches for men. Alright, so you can see this thing popping up right here. This is an example of an ad from Google, right? So this is going to show me the picture of the product, the name, the price, and the website. And you can see this small icon at the top here. So what this one means is if you click on this, it takes you to the page where you're going to see the product, that particular product itself. And you can decide whether you want to purchase or check out some of the other features that the product has, right? So you can see the product right here. So this is one e-commerce store and you have this right here. Right, so back to our options. So if you have if you're launching something new and you like to create awareness and you would like to reach lots and lots of people, a very broad audience, this is the best option to use. If you have an app that you like to encourage people to install or to do something or to register or to sign up, if you have an app, this is the best option to use. So whether your app is on iOS, on Android, Play Store or App Store, this is the option you use. Sometimes when you try to install new apps, you will see when you go to your Play Store, for instance, you will see ads at the top. So this is the option that was used in creating that. Then if you have a physical location, right? So if I go to digital marketing agency in Nigeria, you can see at this section, right, we have this business profiles. Sometimes the first one you see here is going to have a small tag called ad. So this was what was used in creating it, this one here. And sometimes when you click on more businesses at the top here, can you see? So this ones you're seeing here, they are ads from this section, right? So if you have a physical location and you like to encourage people to actually check it out, the option you can always use is this. And now sometimes you won't know what you want to do. You won't know whether you want to create a website traffic or whether you want to people to visit your location, or you want to sell products, or you want to create awareness. Sometimes you'll be confused. But the only thing you know that you have is you have the videos you like to use, you have the pictures you like to use, and you have the content, the written content you like to use. So when that happens, this is the option to create. Right, so just click on this, and when you click on this, this one is going to show you different options where your ad can be placed, which is the campaign type. Right, so if you want search, which is this, when you go back to this option and you scroll, so this is under search, right? And when you come back here, you also have performance max. So performance max is a combination of search, YouTube, and other platforms. So you can see about 3 combination of different platforms where your ads can actually show. Then you have your display ads. Your display ads is usually on YouTube. So if you go on YouTube and you click on any of the video, so this one here right here can either be on search or performance max. But when you click on a particular video like this guy's video, and right here, this section here, right. So I'm just going to wait for this to load. Right, so this section here is for display ads, and if you check the reference, you can see this section here is looking like a box, so you have your video, and this right section here is looking like what we have here, right? So that is for display ads. Then you have for shopping. I think shopping is this one I just showed you guys, this one here for shopping. Then you have for video, I believe you guys know video, this one showing up here. You have this countdown before the ad elapses. So this one right here is the video option. Then you have the smart. So smart is also a combination of both search. You can see this thing at the back here, this little lines. This one is for search, and this one is for display. So when you combine this option, this one here, when people go to YouTube, they see this, and when they also come on Google search, they also see this. So when you want a combination of the two, you can as well pick smart. Then you have discovery. So discovery can also be when you go to your app. Like I said, there's an app called Google mobile app. It's called Google itself on your Android. I'm not sure. I think it should be on iPhone too. So this is the app. This one here. This is the icon. So when you open it, let me see if I can see the interface for Discover. For some reasons I can't see the section here, right? But on your, if you have a phone, you see about 3 sections here. One is Discover, which is like your timeline. Then you have the next one, which is like the search, and I think the last one has to do with collections. Let's say you've saved certain things that you're interested in. But the first one is called Discover, and Discover is this discovery section here. So what this Google app just does is some of the things that they feel it relates to what you enjoy reading or your interest is going to show ads or articles or videos that relates to what you enjoy doing or the things you've searched for in the past. It will recommend some articles for you. So at the bottom or while you're scrolling through, you can see some of the ad if this is the option the person picked. So we'll be starting from search. So just click on search. Then it's going to ask the kind of results we would like to use. Do you want people to visit our website? Do you want it to be phone calls, or do you want to be app downloads? Right, so you can actually select 3 of these options. You can decide to just select 2 if you want, or just 1, and you'll be fine. So we'll be selecting the 3, right? Then for the website, you can just go to maybe page stack, copy the link, come back here and paste, Ctrl V. Then for the phone calls, you have to pick the actual country that you want people to call. So if you have a mobile phone that is United States based, of course you can use it. And since you're in Nigeria, you just scroll to where we have Nigeria. Just this. Then this is where you put the phone number. So you can just put something like this. Right, then for the app downloads, so this one, what you just need for this is either you search for the name of the app if you have the name of the app, or you search for the name on the app if it is on iOS or Android. So if you have the name in mind, you can just search for it, or if you don't want to search for it, you can just go on Google So let's say we want to use Paystack as an example. I can just say Paystack app on Play Store. When you click on this, it's going to take you to, you can see the URL at the top here. So when you click on this, it's going to take you to this website. So all you have to do is just copy this link here, this one here, Control C, then come back here and paste it right here. I can see this is not working, and the reason it's not working, right, is because I copied the one from Play Store from Android, but you can see the option here. I'm picking what? I'm picking iOS. So if I click on Android and I do that again, can you see it's showing now? So you have to be sure that whatever platform you're copying from is also the option you're picking from these two options. So since it has popped it up, I can just click on this and you can see we have it this way. So for our campaign name, of course, you have to always have a good naming convention to name your campaign. So I can call it search ad. Then I can put today's date, which is 11th of February 2023. And then we are done with this first stage. So I'll just click on continue. Right, so bidding, what do you want to focus on? Is it that you want to focus on clicks or impression share? And this conversion, for some reason, it is not showing. It is not showing. So maybe in our successful classes, we would see an option where it is not showing. In the other Google Ads accounts, these two options are showing. And the best option to always pick is between these conversions and conversion share, right? And you can see when I over, it's saying set up conversion tracking. So because I haven't set this up, right, that is why these two are not showing. In the other Google Ads account, these two options are showing. So when we get to Google Analytics, we will see how to set up conversion tracking. But since it is giving us these two options, this is the best option to pick from, clicks. So I'll just click on clicks, and you can decide to also set a maximum cost per click bid limit. So what this one means is, for every click that people are clicking on your ad, how much is the maximum amount you like to spend for that particular click? So I can say for this, I want to spend just $2 for the maximum amount of money. So some days Google can spend $1, some days they can spend maybe 0.5 cents, some days they can spend 1.5 cents or 1.8, but the amount will never exceed this amount for their calculation, right? This one is different from your budget, which we are still going to see. So the budget is like the overall amount you are willing to spend on an ad, but this one has to do with the individual calculation of the breakdown per click for each of the ad, right? So at this section, we don't really have any more settings to work on. So you can just click on next. Right, so you have your network, location, languages, and audiences. Right, so you can click on this drop down and you can click on choose network. So you can decide for it to be Google Search Partners or include Google Display Network. Right, so for this Google Search Partners, an example is when we went to one of those websites. Let me see. So when I search for Rush by Erasta, so when you scroll down, let me see if I'm going to see it on this website. So I'm trying to look for an ad from Google. Right, so you can see this one from Showmax. This is an ad. So you can see another one here. This one here. You can see another one here. You can see on this website you have about 5 ads, if not more than that. You can see another ad here from SpectraNet. All these things are ads from Google. So if you come back here, you have this include Google Search Partners. And at the bottom here, you see ads can appear near Google search results and other Google sites when people search for terms that are relevant to your keywords. Right, so this option you are seeing here, this website is a Google Search Partner, and that's why you are seeing this ad. So back to this, you also have Google Display Network. So Google Display Network are like other platforms owned by Google, like YouTube, like Gmail, or any other channel that is owned by Google, where your apps or ads can actually show up. So you can decide to actually disable this. So if you don't want your ads to show on this platform, right, you can decide to actually disable it if you want. But you can see when I disable it, it's saying expand your reach with Google search partners. So it's always recommended that you actually expand it. So it's good that you actually leave this to checked. And the next option is your location. So you can decide to target all countries and territories, Nigeria, or enter another location. So back to this. For the location, it would be a bad practice for you to actually select all countries or territories. This is a very bad thing to do. It's best that you actually take your time to know the locations you like to target and narrow it down to those locations. Because when you target this, remember the population of the world is about 7 going to 8 billion, right? And the population of people on the internet can be maybe around 1 or 2 billion. I'm not sure of the values. That way, it will be difficult for you to actually analyze how well your ad is doing, right? Even for example, if you're targeting Nigeria is also a bad example in some instances. And the reason is because in Nigeria, you have about 36 states. And in these 36 states, it's possible that you don't want to target all of these states. So a good option for Nigeria instances, you can just decide to actually target them by location. So you can just start and say maybe Lagos. And when you start typing, you will see the drop down. So you can see ordinary Lagos, we have in about 14 million ordinary Lagos. So you can just click on targets and it's going to add it to this, right? So if you want to target another location, you just say Ogun. And you can see in Ogun State, Nigeria, about 901,000. You can decide to actually exclude it if you want. So if you don't want your ads to show in Ogun State, this is the option you pick. You pick exclude, and if you want to have a nearby location close to where you are, you can pick on nearby. But this one is going to really narrow down what you're targeting. So the best option will always be to pick on targets, and you have more locations, right? So the more states that you can pick, the better it will be. Another bad practice is it will be a bad practice for you to target local governments like Ikeja or Aegi or Alimosho. That would be a bad ad practice. Remember, people are moving around within the state, and if you target just one location, it means if someone doesn't come to that particular location you targeted, it means the ad won't reach out to the person. So a good option is to go to the state level and target them one by one. Then on this drop down, you also have location options, and this just relates to the thing I just mentioned now, right? Which is people are moving around, right? So it means if someone, when you set up this ad, right, it means if someone was in Lagos currently and they moved out of Lagos, maybe they moved to Abuja, right? So far, when you set up this ad, the person was in Lagos and their machine has targeted that person. When the person gets to Abuja, it's possible that the person will also see the ad. Why? Because this is working, right? People in regularly in or who've shown interest in your targeted locations, right? So if someone just comes to Lagos and they move out, your ad can show to them. If someone resides in Lagos permanently, your ad can show to them. If someone has searched for something that relates to what you're doing, the ads can show to them, especially if they add locations to it. So it's possible someone in Canada, for instance, can decide to search for a digital marketing agency in Nigeria. And so far, if they want to do that, they're going to have to put Lagos or Nigeria as part of their keywords. So if this is checked, right, it is going to what show to that person, right? So if it is for present, so what present means is those that are just in the locations you're targeting. So if someone is in Abuja, for instance, your ads won't show to the person. And for this one is if the person is in Canada and they put something like this, Victor Marketing Agency in Lagos. So this is the keyword or the targeted location. The ad will show to the person. So these two options will really narrow it down, right? So the best option to always pick is this one. And you don't want to exclude people. You can see this one is exclusion. So you don't want to exclude people from seeing your ad, no matter the location they are. So that's what these location options does. So the next one is your language. You can pick any language that you like people to see your ad. So if the person is speaking any other language like Russian, like Portuguese, there's an option when you visit Google at the bottom where you can change the language it will be showing for you. So if the person changes the language, as far as you pick the language here, Google is going to translate the language for you and show the ad to that person, since they also search for a keyword that relates to what you targeted. Then right here you have the audience segment. When you click on this drop down, this one is going to give you an option to actually target your audience by some of the features that they have. And you can see currently, because we haven't done anything, it is empty, right? So if I go to browse, I can click on who they are under detailed demographics. So when I click on this, you can see parental status. If I click on this drop down, and on this drop down, you have these options, whether they are parents of infants, toddlers, preschoolers, grade scholars, or teens. And you have the age range. So when you hover, Google is going to show you an estimated weekly impression. And you can see currently it is not available. And I'm sure the reason this is not available is because we are poor when it comes to data. So it's difficult for Google to actually know the number of parents of teens that are in Nigeria, right? But if you go down, let's see other options, maybe marital status. Let's see if okay, this one is unavailable. Most of them are virtually unavailable. And if they are unavailable, it will be difficult for you to actually know that, oh, if you target these people, at least this is the expected weekly impression you should see. But since it's not showing, it will be difficult to actually see that, right? So let me check on the employment, company size. All right, I think everything here is just unavailable because of the country, right? So let me go up and try to cancel this, and let me change the location. So let me pick United States. So I can click on target. So you have United States. Then when I scroll down to this employment, company size, small employer, it's still unavailable. Maybe it's a bug from Google, because the data is not showing anything, and it also be showing an estimate of this, right? So you can just go ahead and play around with this and see. You can go under industry, and if there is a particular industry you like to target that you feel your audience are, you can click on this, and you can actually narrow down your targeting. So if you feel the people you're targeting are under the education sector, you just click on this, and then right here is going to come here. So if it is under healthcare, financial industry, construction, just click on this. So that's just that on this audience section. You also have targeting and observation, right? So what this targeting does is it's going to narrow down your ad to just these options you've selected, right? So it means if peradventure some of the people you actually need to target are outside of this industry, it won't show to them. But this observation, what this one does is it won't narrow it down to this. So this one is like an expansion. It means if there are other people in other sectors that you didn't select here, and Google feels it is best to actually show the ad to them, or if they've had a discussion concerning what you are talking about, what you're offering, or they've called someone, or they chatted someone, or they've searched for it on your mobile phone, this observation will show the ad to them, right? So that is that on this audience section. So if we go under more settings, you can decide for you to optimize your ads, and it is always good you leave these things as optimized. You don't want to click on this for it to rotate it. No, do not click on this. Always use this one for it to optimize. So what this one does is Google will try to ensure that your ad is delivered to the right people at the right time for this optimization. Then when you click on more settings again, this is where you can set up the start and end date for your ad. So always click on this edit to set the end date, because if you don't click on the end date, your ad will just keep running. And if you're using a postpaid account for your billing, it means it is until you remember before you stop the ad. And at the end of the month, you can see a bill you are not prepared for. So it's always good you actually click on this drop down and select the date you like to use your to run your ads. So a good practice for running ads should be at least 4 days, minimum of 4 days. A good range is a week. So when you pick a week minimum for the duration, it means you're giving Google the time to understand who your target audiences are, right? So the best option to always pick is either 4 days, depending on your budget, or a week. Anything from that or above that is fine. So I'll just pick 18th. Then if I go back to more settings, you can decide to actually run your ads either all day or on specific days. Let me click on this again. So you can decide for it to be all days, or Mondays to Fridays, or just weekends, or on specific days. And of course, I think if you like to run your ads all days, you can also decide the time is going to start and the time is going to end. So you can decide that every Friday, that's when your ad is going to start, and it's going to start at midnight and end maybe 12 p.m. and that's about 12 hours, right? So you can always do this, but of course I think the best option to pick would be all days. And then we can remove this so that you don't see what was it called, you don't limit it to, or you can as well decide to scroll down and put it as 2345, but you can see it's not ending at 2400. So just leave it at 000 and it is good to go. You can click on add to have multiple days for your selection. So if you have all days here, it doesn't make sense to actually have all days here again. So this is good. Let's say you pick Mondays here, then you have a particular days and hours you like it to run. Then on the second option, you can pick maybe Tuesdays. You also have particular hours you like your ad to run. So I'll just click on this X and go back to all days, right? And I'll leave it as that. So back to more settings. We have our campaign URL options. We don't need this one because this has to do with tracking. Then we have dynamic search ads settings, right? So when you click on this, so what this does, let me just click on that drop down, right? So what this one does is, when we get to keywords and ads, we're going to see more explanation for this dynamic search ads. So basically what it does is, for some reasons, it's possible that you won't be able to actually target everybody using the correct headline. This is what I mean by headline. When you search for a keyword and you scroll down, right? So you have this word combination: digital marketing agency in Nigeria, alternative adverts limited, right? It's possible that you can actually write up to 5 or 10 headlines for this. When we get to this section, you understand that better. So what Google is going to allow you to do is, when you write up to 5 or 10, Google can combine each of these headlines to fit whatever keyword someone search for. So if someone search for digital marketing agency in Lekki, for instance, as part of your headlines of your website, you have a page that is talking about Lekki, right? Google will automatically combine that in for you and come up with a new title right here. So when we get to this section, you understand that better. So for whatever website you want to use, you can just come here and copy the URL. So I think we have paste tag the other time. I can just click on the drop down, then I can click outside. So we have this. Then of course the language, you should leave it as English, and if you have any other language that you speak, you can always click on any other one. I think so. That's virtually everything. Yeah, this one is for tracking. We'll be talking about it. So under campaign settings, I think we are done with this. So before I move on to keywords and ads, do you have any question?
No.
Okay, Daniel, thank you. That was quite extensive. But I want to know, in terms of cost, I was hoping that you talk about if these costs they are fixed, or because you mentioned that. I can't remember what we said. But what I want to know is, if I have, let's say, $2,000 to pay for this ad for the period of 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to know, is there a fixed cost that in Google charges for the ad per day, or do they just run on their own budget? Because I can say I have $2,000 to spend for 2 weeks. What if it's not enough? What if it's more than that?
All right, so that's a very good question, and that question will be perfectly answered when we get to this budget section. So since you already asked the question, instead of waiting till we get here, I will just keep these keywords and ads and extensions and move to budget section. You can actually jump any of this, but you can't skip them for life. If you jump them, you still need to come back to any one of these and fix it, because when you get to the review section, it will tell you that there are certain sections you haven't done. So let's just go to the budget section and answer Evelyn's what's it called question. So if you can see under budget, it says select the average you want to spend each day. Set your average daily budget for this campaign, right? So it means how much do you want to spend per day. So to your question, the answer is it is not fixed. It depends on whatever budget that you have. But the key thing is, when we start running multiple ads, there is a section where Google is going to recommend the amount other advertisers have been spending, and they feel you also should also spend it so that you also be able to appear. So this is what I mean. When you come here, right, you can see, I think yesterday we saw an ad at the top here, and we saw some at the bottom here. It's possible when you also go to like page 2, we also see maybe at the bottom, or page 3, when you keep going sometimes, you also see ads from other companies, but we're not seeing them currently anyway. But it's possible you will see ads on page 2, page 3, page 4, right? So the reason is that the amount someone is spending, if you're using the recommended value, right, it means Google will try to push your ad to the first page, and if you have very nice quality on your website. But if for some reasons your budget is not enough, it is below the one Google recommends, your ad will still show, but you won't expect it to always show at the top. In fact, it might never get to the top of Google's first page. You will probably see it in one of these sections if you have very good content, but in most times you probably see it in page 2 for your ad. And that limit Google can place on your ad is your ad might not show every time because of the budget. So Google can decide that your ad will only show maybe 9 to 5 where people open and close. I remember in your business profile, when you go to your business profile, let me go to page 1. In this business profile, these businesses usually put their opening hours. Can you see? Opens 8 a.m. Monday, and I'm sure they're going to have a closing time or a closing hour. And this is also linked to your Google account. So what Google can do is, within this period where you're opening by 8 and you're closing by 5, that is the only period your ad is going to run. Why? Because of your budget. Right. So if you put something like $2, right, I was expecting Google to even complain about this, but currently they are not. So what I'll do is, let me quickly switch to the other Google Ads accounts, and we'll quickly get to this budget. So you guys just follow through, and I'll switch to this one here. Yes. So let me switch to that. Then I would try to skip to this budget section so that you see the recommendation from Google, another section where you can actually put your own custom budget when you want to run ads. So I will click on create a new campaign. Anyone is fine. Create. When I click on create, it gives us more options. I think my system is. Let me click on new campaign. Okay, so I can actually click on resume campaign drafts, and all these drafts that we have at the bottom here, I can resume from it. I'll just click on new, then to take us to that place again. So I'll click on without a goals guidance. I'll click on search. Now I'll click on continue. So you can click on website and paste phone calls, Nigeria. So I'll just pick a random number, and I'll ensure you start from 0. And you can see they're giving us an example, because our numbers usually start from 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then app downloads. I can ignore this, or let me just add it. Android. So I can search for the name, pay. Okay, things are already showing me already. And you can see when you start searching, it brings out different results. But I think it brought out, so I can just use this one. Then I'll click on continue. Oh, it's asking, saying invalid. Continue. So it's popping out the draft. I'll just say start new. So you see that this one is showing these two options I was talking about now, right? So when we get to Google Analytics and we set up our tracking, we would see the difference between these two. So I'll just skip to budget section straight ahead. And right here is not still giving me what I want, which is the recommendation for the budget. So let me cancel this. And let me click on new campaign again. I was expecting it to actually. Oh, sorry. Let me click on app install. This one. Let me see where I can continue. So let me click on the edit campaign. And right here is not showing me what I want. I was actually looking for. All this one I just gave me the budgets, right? But I think I've answered your question anyway, which is you can actually set your own custom budgets, right? So if it is $2,000 you have, you can actually set it. The only thing Google is going to do is going to recommend a budget, a daily budget or a monthly budget, usually daily, that other advertisers have been running before, and they will say, okay, if you add this, if your budget is below that recommended budget, your ad might not perform the way it should. So they will recommend that you ensure that it is according to the budget. So the budgets are usually in 2s or 3s. So an example is sometimes you'll see $20, the next one $30, on the last one about $70, right? About 3 budgets. So depending on your budget, so if you pick $20, so that will be 20 multiplied by 30. Remember, it is daily. So 20 multiplied by 30 will be about $600 per month, right? So if your budget is fitting to that, of course you can go with that. If your budget is higher than that, of course there is a button you can actually, like this one now. This one is not giving us recommendation. So I can say it's $100 I want to spend. It's still going to work. I can say it is $2,000 I'm going to spend. In fact, if you have $100,000, right? I can see it's not. I think the maximum. What's it called? It's saying I should save twice. I don't know if they have a maximum amount for hard. I'm not sure. I really don't know. But it's telling me to save twice to confirm. Maybe I think the reason it's saying this is it wants me to be sure that I actually know the value I'm putting inside, so that I don't make the mistake of putting a very high value. So I feel they don't really have a maximum, right? Once I save, I think it's taking me back here. Oh, can you see? Can you see what just happened? I had to click on the save twice before it accepted it. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
I noticed it.
Aha, so I don't think they have a maximum budget for ad. Any amount you have, Google is going to take it from you, right?
Unlimited, depends on your pocket.
Exactly, depends on your pocket. The only thing they'll just do is they just recommend to you that whatever advertisers spend maybe $50 per day, you too, they have the amount. If you don't, they will say your ad might not perform, and if you can go higher, of course, it means your ad should perform.
They'll give you a recommended amount to spend.
Exactly. So that's the way it works. So Evelyn, did I answer your question?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so any other question? Any other questions so far? I think we're on campaign settings.
No, for me, we're on track.
Okay, so we are done with campaign settings, which was this.
We want to keep
The
it
next
some
one
ads.
we're going to is keywords and ads. So let's take a 5-minute break and we'll be back. Is that fine?
Sure, no problem.
So everyone, are you there? Can we take a 5-minute break?
Okay.
All right. So I'll see you guys in 5:15.